The South Sydney Rabbitohs doing it in style at Leichhardt Oval. No fans there, but they still put on quite the display. 38-22 over the West Tigers. It was built on a dominant first half performance. The Tigers actually winning the second half, 22 points to 12. But job done for South. They now jump from 4th to 3rd, alone there on the National Rugby League ladder after 16 rounds. Great to have your company for the final whisk. That of Andrew Johns, hello, Lana Ferguson. Nice to see you both. Let's head to Leichhardt Oval now on the back of that win for South Sydney. And one of the stars of the show, Adam Reynolds, joins us. Adam, congratulations on the win. Look, you've been on a roll. That's 4 straight now for the team. How do you best sum up what just unfolded?
Yeah, probably a game of two halves, if we're being honest. First half, we executed well. Defence was on song, and second half, we sort of just stayed in the sheds there. So, sort of mixed emotions on the game, but, happy to get the win.
Reno, there's a lot of blowouts, especially the last couple of weeks, or Saturday's games were. Are you finding that the 6 to go during the year is making teams really tired towards this end of the season?
Yeah, especially when you get a few, Joey. They sort of roll on into one into another and certainly make it tough through the middle. The boys certainly get tired through there, and it tightens the edges up, so there's a bit of space. Teams are certainly exploring it, but when you got it, it's handy to have.
Do you feel like that's what happened in the second half? They were able to get in for 4 tries. Was that a result of a little bit of fatigue in the game quickening up?
Oh, I think it comes down to our execution. We kicked a few dead. Gave them a couple of easy leg ups and certainly made it tough for ourselves. We knew they were going to come out and throw the ball around in the second half, and we just weren't clean, and we didn't execute to the standard of our side. And classic examples in the first half when we did that, we put some points on, and second half we just got away from it.
Injuries to Nathan Cleary and Jerome Luai for New South Wales. Renault, have you had any conversations with Brad Fittler or anyone from the New South Wales Rugby League over the weekend?
Nah, nothing, mate. I'll just focus on doing my job at South. I've probably got caught up in it in the past, but this year I've kept right away from it. If it happens, it happens. I'd be honoured and grateful to represent New South Wales, but if it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be.
Mate, how hard is it? You go in 26, 28-0 up at half-time. We've all been there, second half, especially with no crowds. Do you find it hard sometimes to come out and, put the dagger a little bit deeper in that second half?
Oh, it shouldn't be an excuse, Joey, but the atmosphere is obviously not there. But look, for us as a team, we can't make excuses. We had poor execution to our sets. Last tackles there, we kicked a few dead and certainly made it tough for ourselves. So, look, we're a top 4 side, and we need to be better than that.
Adam, well done on the win this afternoon. We'll see you Friday night live on 9 against the Cowboys.
Cheers. Thanks, guys.
Adam Reynolds, South Sydney halfback, stand out in their win at Leichhardt Oval. And he spoke there too about the situation with the Blues. Time will tell as we speak right now. The team is yet to be announced. You speak about these one-sided matches though, Andrew. There's no denying it. 46-0 storm over the Roosters Thursday night to kick off the round. And then Saturday, the big one, the 148 points to 6 across 3 games. It was looking pretty ugly in this one this afternoon as well. I've heard a multitude of reasons thrown out there as to whether it is some of the new rules, whether it's clubs being mismanaged, whether it's a lack of fitness with some teams compared to others. Can you put the nail on the head?
Absolutely no idea. And I'm thinking about it, I'm watching, I'm talking to people all the time. And there's all different theories, 6 to go, as you said, but I don't know, mate. I don't know. But it's a real worry because, the difference between the top and the bottom, and not even that, sometimes some games, we're seeing massive blowouts. So I'd like to see at the end of the year a think tank where we get people together from the game, people within the media, the coaches, some senior players, and we talk about the direction of the game, where we want the game, what do we want the game to look like. Because at the moment, I think we're making things up on the go. And there's some games where you look and it's like touch footy. Like that game tonight, the second half, and both teams were in second gear. I know there's no crowds and, the result was pretty much decided at half-time, but I think we need to get together and work out what we want the game to look like, how do we think the game should be officiated, and go forward from there. Because at the moment, I think it's pretty wishy-washy.
There's been a lot of speculation and people commenting on if it's the 6 again rule or not. I don't think you can put it down to that because it's not impossible to adjust to, and we've seen teams be able to do it. You only have to look at the Melbourne Storm and Penrith, and they defend completely different to any other side in the competition. They're still, the way that they actually approach their defence, the way that they still are able to get 3 people in a tackle, and they do it to a T. It's very well coached, but they're able to slow those rucks down, and they also look far fitter offside. So I think sometimes in some instances there are teams that are almost using it as an excuse, which can't be the case. But there's obviously a huge gap in between some of the sides, and I think partially, well, the formula's there, and there are teams that are able to adjust to the speed of the game. And it's not that the Melbourne Storm and Penrith Panthers aren't getting 6 against them. It's just that they're able to swing those momentums, and the technique and the way that they're approaching some of that defence is keeping them or getting them back into the game at those times. So I don't think it's impossible, but it's definitely a huge issue, the way it's happening and the degree that it's happening to across so many games.
Predictability is the biggest concern out of this, wouldn't it be, Joey? The fact that you probably do know quite conclusively the 2, 3, 4 teams that will perhaps be fighting it out for the title come season's end?
Yeah, I think the argument is the Premier League soccer in England.
Yep.
You pretty much know before the start of the season the top 4 or 5 teams who they're going to be. I just don't know, Brace. I don't know what the answer is. I don't know how we pull it all back together. There's people might say we need a draft to even out the talent. I don't know. The answer's a pineapple.
Yeah, at the moment,
a juicy pineapple too. From far North Queensland, those real juicy big ones. Jeez, I'd love one of those at the moment.
Mix it with something.
Mixed with something
yeah,
too.
mixed with something very strong right now.
Oh, yeah.
But do it
Triple
responsibly. Hey, let's change tack for a minute. Speaking of a bit of silliness, this one is, if it wasn't so silly, it'd be a disgrace. It's the St George Illawarra Dragons situation, a party on Saturday night. 13 people have been fined $1,000 for apparently attending the house of Paul Vaughan for a gathering there, which we know is under state laws in New South Wales at the moment illegal. On top of that, the NRL is investigating because players at the moment are under level 4 protocols, which means no mingling in public, no social occasions. Where does this go, Alana? What comes of this scenario? Because we've already seen a few occasions, the Bulldogs, Josh Dugan at the Sharks.
Well, it's a no-brainer on their behalf, and we initially thought it was after the game. It's not the case. It was on a completely different day. They played on the Friday, and it was on the Saturday night. So it also doesn't turn in their favour, that aspect, but you can't do it. So they should know better. You can't do it. We saw Josh Dugan, who went to dinner, get fined $25K out of his own pocket.
Yep.
So you'd assume that it'd be a similar case for each member of the team that turned up and decided to do that.
The league's biggest concern, Andrew, is the exemptions they're getting to travel interstate. So you've got teams from New South Wales that need to go to Queensland to play, need to go to Melbourne to play. You've got State of Origin around the corner as well. You can understand their frustration, can't you?
Well, you can understand everyone's frustration. You can understand people with small business who have lost everything with the lockdowns, cafes, restaurants, pubs, small business, who have lost everything. They'd be sitting back going, what are these peanuts doing? You're in a position where you're still getting paid, blah, blah, blah. But, you just got to make better decisions. I thought it was Friday night and I thought, right, they've had a big win, got on the bus, ripped in on the bus, come on, let's do it, because, we all make bad decisions when you're full of drink. But to probably plan it, premeditate it on a Saturday, I can imagine a lot of people out there in the community, the hierarchy, people in government would be just scratching their head. It's just not good enough.
Well, that's some of the witness accounts too. People walking in with slabs of beer in as though everything's normal, which it just isn't at the moment, and you can't be doing it. And then, obviously, some of them decided to go for a runner when the coppers are knocking on the door as well.
That probably wasn't ideal.
Yeah, and take your wallet with you.
Yeah, take your wallet with you. Don't leave that on the barbecue. Oh, we should laugh. Anyway, it is obviously a lot more to come on this situation. The NRL, as we mentioned, the Integrity Unit doing their own investigation. But Denny Weidler revealing earlier on this Sunday $1,000 fines to 13 people in attendance at that party at the house of Paul Vaughan, the Dragon Star. Let's get on the clock to wrap things up here on the final whistle. Got to finish the sentence for me, Alana and Joey. Alani first. Matt Burton and Josh Addo-Carr were watching the Bulldogs game and thoughts?
We've got a big job ahead of ourselves.
They're crying. Fetal position. Sucking their thumbs, crying.
Andrew, the 6 again rule should?
I think it should stay. I just don't think they should be going there that much. The Manly game against Canterbury, I think there was 24-6 to go in penalties. So that's a big change in momentum.
Huge.
And you don't need turbo to get that momentum. Yeah. I like it, not so much.
The 6 again rule should?
Yeah, stay.
Okay, and finally, Origin and Newcastle would be Alana. I'm waiting for this one.
Well, given the circumstances, perfect.
Yep.
Orgasmic.
I was never going to outdo that response.
I knew it'd be good, and it was even better.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Thank you, Andrew.
It's exactly what we needed to picture. Thanks, mate.
That's it for the final whistle. See you next week. Bye-bye.